Thank you so much, President Smoke. How are we doing and how are we feeling, University of Baltimore? I bring greetings from my husband, the 63rd governor of the state of Maryland, Wes Moore. He is the first Black governor in the history of our state. He is the third in the history of the United States, and he is the only sitting Black governor in the country. And when President Smoke invited me to speak, I immediately said yes. He is not just a public servant. He is a personal friend and mentor to both me and my husband. It was Kurt Schmoke who encouraged Wes to apply for the Rhodes Scholarship. And in every stage of our lives and careers, he has been there to guide us forward. And now he is guiding UBALT through its historic 100th year. I also want to acknowledge Provost Mueller, the Board of Regents, members of the Foundation, Cabinet, distinguished guests, and most of all, the amazing class of 2025. Many of you battled the wind and the rain to get here, both literally and figuratively. But you made it, and you earned this. And kudos to your family, friends, and everyone at the university who supported you on this journey. Today, we turn the page on your graduate studies, but we also start a new chapter. And as you take your next steps, I want to talk to you about the challenges you will face in the years ahead and how to address them head on. I've been a champion for Maryland across more than 2 decades of public service, but my path to state government was never guaranteed. And after I graduated from college, I worked as a substitute teacher in Baltimore. I knew teaching was a noble profession. My mom was a teacher with New York City Public Schools. But let me just say, teaching is not one of the gifts she passed on to me. Still, I knew I wanted to make a difference. So I picked up the phone and I called my favorite professor of African American Studies at the University of Maryland, Dr. Ali Johnson. And I asked him one question that changed my life. Do you know of any opportunities in service? My professor introduced me to Ken Ullman, who introduced me to John Willis. John now teaches at University of Baltimore. But at the time, he was Maryland's Secretary of State, and he took the chance and he hired me. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I wouldn't be where I am today without the hope and the help of a big village that lifted me up. Throughout my life and career, I've learned 3 big lessons about solving big problems. 1, division is the greatest barrier to progress. 2, collaboration is our path to success. And 3, the only way to elevate the work is to strengthen community. That work is more important now than ever before. As a society, we have become increasingly divided. And I don't just mean politically, I mean physically. We send an email rather than meeting in person. We send a text rather than talking on the phone. We place an order using DoorDash so we don't have to see or talk to anybody. And as a public figure, I think about how increased isolation stunts collaboration. As a mother, I think about how increased isolation is harming our children. Young people are more disconnected from community than ever. And as a result, they are suffering from dangerously high rates of mental health challenges. Look, innovation and efficiency are absolutely essential, but we must be intentional and careful about how we use them. The greatest ideas in the world were developed in person. The greatest businesses in the world were built with people creating them together. Community is our lifeblood. It is the only hope we have as a state to secure our future. Over the past few years, my work as First Lady has focused on building bigger tables and inviting Marylanders to claim their seat around it. We've increased employment opportunities for Maryland's military spouses. We've worked to restore the official residence of the First Family to ensure it lives up to its name, the People's House. And we've worked to address the crisis of a generation, children's mental health. One of the most important things I have learned in our work is this: we are not that different from each other, and neither are our challenges. But of course, the people in this room already know what I'm talking about. You have spent time building bridges across departments and disciplines. You've collaborated with peers who bring a unique perspective to work. UBALT encourages those kinds of connections. But once you leave this place, community won't be handed to you. You need to build it yourself. I believe you can, and you must. So stay connected in the work, stay bound to each other. Be open to new ways of thinking, and when you come across a good idea, build on it. There is no monopoly on good ideas. I speak from experience. Last week, we produced the inaugural Preakness Festival to mark the 150th anniversary of the Preakness Stakes. I was inspired to create the festival a few years ago. My husband and I were invited by the governor of Kentucky and his wife to attend the Kentucky Derby. I learned the Kentucky Derby creates a $400 million economic impact. Preakness, it creates a $40 million economic impact. That's because in the past, Preakness had only 2 days of events. I said to my husband, we can do this. We can do this in Maryland, and we can do it better. We can create an inclusive economy. We can bring families together. We can invest in local businesses. And my husband said, well, go do it. And we got it done. Thank you. Class of 2025, you will have moments when people see something in you that you might not even see in yourself. Because community isn't just a sounding board, it is a springboard. It can be easy to feel undeserving or unprepared. But when you build community, know you are never alone in the work. So do it uncertain and do it unsure. Don't let it pass you by because your yes can change everything. That is the story of UBALT, and that is the story of this class. In the story of Dagamawit Kabidi. Where are you, Dagamawit? If she's here, please stand. That's right. She is a first-generation college student from Ethiopia. She pursued a bachelor's degree for her family. She pursued a master's degree in global affairs and human security for herself to honor her roots, to make an impact. Let's give her a big round of applause. It is the story of Travis Polite. Is Travis here? Where you at, Travis? We are so proud of you, and I hear you are from the Bronx. Now, I may age myself, but we called it to boogie down in New York. Travis wanted to create change after seeing the lack of opportunity available to people in his hometown. He pursued a master's degree in negotiations and conflict management to find new ways to serve. Let's give Travis a big round of applause. And it is the story of Kayla Tellington. Is Kayla here? Kayla, also known, there she is. Kayla, also known as the Cupcake Girl. I love your cap, too. It's beautiful. Kayla is from Baltimore, and she is her own mixing bowl of talent. As an entrepreneur, an English teacher, UBalt undergrad alum, and as of today, an MFA graduate. Congratulations. There are many other stories just like yours inside and outside of this room. Stories of people willing to fight for something bigger than themselves, not for the glory, but for the good. You are the great hope of our state. You understand our strength is not just in doing the work, but it is doing the work together in community. The great Marylander Thurgood Marshall said, "None of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody bent down and helped us pick up our boots." Class of 2025, never be afraid of asking for help and never hesitate when someone asks for yours. Because in this moment, we need you always, and we need your work together. We need you to build community. We need that enduring UBalt spirit that will stop at nothing to bring us together as one people, one city, and one state. And if there is one thing you remember as you leave this place, let it be the words Wes said to me, "Go do it." Thank you so much, and congratulations.